I mean, you use the word critical thinking. This is always something else I use a lot. When I speak to parents, or I've done some tutoring for college here, and they're obviously concerned about what jobs will be available for my kids. And I always tell everyone, I said, look, I mean, knowledge, it is something that AI can help with, but that means that we humans are left with what we are best and what we should be best at. That is not remembering stuff. What we are best at is critical thinking. I always say critical thinking. I mean, we raised a generation, including my one, in the last 40 years, probably more, that everyone needs to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. So we don't need any more thinkers. We don't need any more creatives. We don't need any more, I don't know, philosophers, whatever. And I'm always telling people, actually, what the AI will likely do, it is that all this, I think they're called humanistic thing, all these humanistic sides of us, they are the things that we need. We need more people able to critical think. We need more creatives. We will need a lot of the soft skills, communication between humans, empathy. All these skills, the ones that before they were considered secondary because you mean, if you're an engineer, you're better. Actually, this is finally being reverted, and, we're going back into using our brain. Our brain, for me, is the same. When I see someone spending a whole day scanning items as a cashier in the supermarket, or I see someone spending their whole day on an Excel file doing the stuff, I'm really feeling pain, because I'm really thinking, you as a human being, you are really, I wouldn't say you're being not used, or I think you are honestly wasting your time into something that you don't like, and probably you have so much better that you can give. I don't know, the cashier at the supermarket, they are excellent people. They're lovely, they talk to people. Maybe we can use them in something else. Maybe they could do, instead of scanning items on a bar with barcodes, they could just do something like customer support, or maybe not even dealing with customers. Maybe they can be therapists, whatever. But you know what I mean? I think that all of us, we have such a big potential once we start exploring it, and once we have the time for it. And that is the opportunity, I think, that there is with AI. The opportunity is that it might free us from all this like repetitive and boring and, brain killing jobs, and actually, everyone else having the time for the rest.
I wanted to just hit on the skills piece, which, to your point, it's those human, what we used to call soft skills.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Those are the real human skills that are the hardest for AI to take on, including the reasoning that you mentioned before. But those are the durable skills. Those are the ones that are going to last, and those are the ones that are important to complement whatever AI can do today and whatever AI can do tomorrow. We will always need the critical thinking, the empathy, the creativity, and the ability to take in, all this context and all this other, information to make decisions. That's why, especially in the talent space, I get concerned when people are overly reliant on any the output of any AI, whether that's in text form, or it's a recommendation, or it's an actual, score or stack rank of a person. Right behind that application is a person. There's a human being, and we need to treat that with the right, sort of sensitivity, and in terms of fairness and potential adverse impact and things like that. And so there's just so much that we can do to position ourselves properly for this. And if we don't get ahead of it and push legislators to do the right things in the interest of us as human beings, this doesn't evolve into in a positive direction.
No, I totally agree. As I said, it's a tricky one. It's a difficult one. Wow. But what I see is that every single time that I'm asked to speak at an event is something, usually it is always something like explaining to people how AI works in very simple terms and stuff, and then explaining them a bit of the tools and some, tips and tricks on how to use the tools that are available there. The thing is that once at the end I open the room to questions, you can be sure that we always end up talking about these topics. So that is always something that actually comforts me, I think, because I can see that people, even before understanding, all right, okay, how can I use ChatGPT, whatever it is, for, I don't know, automating my emails, whatever it is, the technical detail, they all want to talk first about what we're talking about it now. And that gives me hope that actually society knows, we as a society, we know that we need to go deep into that as much as we like to go deep into the technology side of things. So I'm always hoping that as more people like me, like yourself, get out there and try to, try to help people with education, basically trying to help people thinking about things. All the summits that I do, people always tell me, oh, I arrived here with lots of questions and I got all my questions answered, but actually now I have more questions, even more, and they are more deep, and most of the times they are about all these topics we're talking about, education, how it affects us. And so I think that it's a fertile ground at the moment with society, and I think that it is the responsibility of, as I said, people like yourself, like me, like many others, trying to do this, to basically try and help everyone starting this sort of constructive discussions, because I think this is what will allow us to understand, what is hallucination, what is not, how AI can actually, because it does enhance our productivity, can make our life easier. And that doesn't mean that it's solving all the problems, and doesn't mean that it is stealing jobs, or it is going to disrupt, as I said before, yes. But once again, we have cars now. It's not that when the first car arrived, all the people that were, I don't know, managing horses, that just stopped things to happen. It's normal. It always happened.